Oh Lil Nas X, you may be little, but your heart is big for Satan. I've made a video on this Satan link before. Watch the video Le Chou, one of my all-time favorites. So what happened? Essentially, this little Satan-worshipping youngling decided to have a redemption arc. For profit, of course. Can there be anything more foul? Now, in the case you're one of those types that say, you don't know anyone's heart, what if he truly repented? I agree. I don't know anyone's heart. I do not have the gift of clairvoyance. But I have the next best thing. I have a brain, 2 eyes, and common sense. And if I see a Lil Nas X making the Holy Cross into a transformer, or him being dressed like Christ munching down the Eucharist as if it's party food, of course I'm going to call out his fake repentance. But Bojan, that's not the real Eucharist! Shut up. If that were the real Eucharist, he'd desecrate it just the same. It is iconography 101. Just because an icon of Christ isn't Christ himself does not mean I will trample it underfoot. Just because the Bible isn't God does not mean I'm going to burn it. And likewise, that Eucharist may be fake, but he is still mocking it. But Bojan, it's just for show! Okay, this is one of the major differences between Christians on one side and secularists and Satanists on the other. With Satan, there is no make-believe. You may make a video where you're making friends with Satan, but be rest assured that the demonic forces will take it in all of its seriousness. However, Lil Nas X isn't really the subject of today's video. It is profiting off repentance. You might be surprised, but repentance porn is actually a thing. Let me introduce you to Taxil, a Frenchman living at the turn of the 19th century. He was famed for his anti-Christian views, writing parodies of the Bible. Around 1884 he supposedly converts, makes a whole show of the entire affair and starts debunking Freemasons. He earned a pretty penny too off his anti-Masonic books. The Catholic Church goes along with this, but in 1897 he held a press conference where he admitted that this entire conversion was a huge scam. However, many people aren't as forthright as Taxil was. Eventually, at the very least. You know the drill. Someone supposedly finds Jesus, converts to Christianity, they write a book or make a podcast or whatever where they journal their journey. Now, they know that, generally, the stories of repentance aren't exactly page-turners, so they spice it up with the help of demons. They didn't just start going to church on Sunday or started praying, no. They stopped being a satanic high priest or priestess, they no longer have hosts of demons at their command. They have lost their great magical powers for the sake of Christ. Now, I'm not saying all of these stories are false, but whenever there is a monetary element in it, they most certainly are, to speak nothing of fame. Do not be fooled, God is not to be mocked. In Christianity, we have many stories of amazing repentance, such as Saint Mary of Egypt. Some, like Saint Cyprian, were actually sorcerers with actual demons at their command. However, we magnify these great men and women of old after their deaths, for such hoaxes can barely last long. Eventually, the veracity or the lie of these claims bursts out, for a city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Judas, Simon Magus, Ananias and Sapphira all perished because they tried to profit off God. God is especially quick with his vengeance when it comes to these sort of things. Do not play with it. Watch Le Chou next for another run-in with Lil Nas X and his blood-anointed sneakers. And I've mentioned Saint Mary of Egypt. For something that's actually good for your soul, take a look at her life. Bye!